Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina wa Nabiyyina Muhammad wa ali Tayyibina Tahirin. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Wal la'natu da'imatu ala a'da'ihim ajma'in min al-ani ila qiyam yawmiddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah for the tawfiq, and especially me, I thank Allah for the tawfiq to get an opportunity to speak about what I'm going to be speaking about today. As usually, the best teacher is not the one who is speaking. The best teacher is the students who teach you when you teach them. Many things that when you are learning, for example, we'll be learning some things over here, they might not make sense if you are just listening. But once you start teaching others, that thing will make sense more. Because when you are teaching someone else, you are actually trying to figure out, what if this person asks you this question? What if they want to find out this area and this section of this hadith? What then? And you will be thinking more than rather than being a recipient and just receiving information. Alhamdulillah, we all get this opportunity. You are learning, and alhamdulillah, I will be learning in this lecture also. The topic you see over here is decision-making skills. But what is interesting is the title above it, decision-making skills, me and myself. I don't know if you have heard of this concept, whereby we have a topic in Farsi, we call it Insan Shanasi, which is roughly translated, in English we like to translate it as finding myself. By finding myself, I don't mean you open Google Maps. By finding myself, I mean, who are you in this world? This one, the lower. Who are you in this world? What is your position in this world? What is your potential in this world? In Arabic, we would like to call it, I like this title they've given it, it's called Ma'rifatun Nafs, knowing yourself. Now, Ma'rifatun Nafs, one area of Ma'rifatun Nafs, knowing yourself, who am I as a human being, is your relationship and your connection with different people. In fact, your relationship with four things. Number one, me as an insan, if I want to be the best insan that I can be, I need to excel in four areas, four relationships, I need to make them stronger. Number one is, I need to be connected to Allah, obviously. So for example, under that we have prayer skills. How do you pray to Allah? What should be your mindset? That's number one. Another part is me and those around me. My friends, human beings. My friends, my family, relatives, whatever it may be. The third part is me and my environment. For example, nowadays we have talks of environmental pollution and environmental degradation, all these concepts. It is even part of being a perfect human being. How do you connect to the environment around you? On the day of judgment, you will have animals and birds come and stand in front of you, if that is there, come and stand in front of you and tell Allah, this person killed me without any reason. What is the punishment for him? So you need to have a good connection. In fact, there are some people who have said that because of them spilling, like example, you are drinking water and a bit of water is remaining. Instead of, for example, making it of good use, you throw that water on the ground. You spilled water. You wasted water. Whatever plant was nearby that needed the water, it can complain on the day of judgment that you did not give it water. So what's your relationship with even the non-animate, so-called non-living beings? Even a stone might be so. And finally, which is the part that we are talking about, is me and myself. What is the connection I have with myself? How much do I know myself? So one of the skills is decision making. If I want to be the perfect man, I need to know how to make the right decision. And this is why the Imam told us. And this is now organized into a book by the name, it's in Farsi, called Maharat-e-Zindagi, the life skills. One of the skills they mentioned, besides anger management and youth affairs and whatnot, they have decision making skills. Inshallah, we'll be discussing about decision making skills today. Many of the things I feel like requires a lot of discussion and requires us to be opening the subject a bit. So I'll try my best as long as we are in time. Some of the hadiths are very interesting. If you were to look at just apparently, you might think it's something very simple, but it has a lot of depth in it. Number one, why are we discussing, as we mentioned? So we are going to be discussing how does one make a decision. Now the Western scholars, by the way, this book is very interesting. What it has tried to do, it has tried to combine the Western style with the Islamic style. So it has looked at the techniques that the West has proposed, psychologists, whatever they may be, and it has put forward the hadiths and tried to bring them together and say what was actually the Imam trying to mean. The Western scholars, maybe they have discovered the technique, but this is just one way to implement what the Imams have told us. Maybe there are different ways. So one of the ways that we are going to look at is going to be in these slides. And finally, how do we employ each method? So let's begin. There are actually 5 styles mentioned in the book on how a person generally would make a decision. It's very interesting over here. Number 1, emotional decision making. So because I don't like to talk too much, I had a long class today, so I will ask a couple of questions. What do you think is a decision making style? What do I mean by a style? Meaning there are some people, their nature of making decision making is they are following some kind of a pattern. So one of the pattern that they might follow, a style that they have, is they are very emotional when they take a decision. So if I were to ask you generally, how would you define someone to be emotional? Oh, the floor is open just now, so you can answer question. Yes.
He makes his decisions based on what he's feeling at that moment.
Wonderful. He makes decision based on feelings. Any other answer from you? Yeah, so he's in the moment. There's another one called impulsive. I think this one is quite obvious. If he were to make a decision, he would do it immediately, right, without thinking. Another one is passive, and the final one before the right one, avoidance, is logical. So the emotional one says that you are making a decision out of excitement and feelings. I think it's quite obvious. How would you know if I'm a person who is making a decision emotionally? It's when that person says, I feel this is right to do just now, or I feel this is not right to do just now. For example, if you were to take an example of someone, I think the best examples come in those marriage scenarios. So if you have a potential spouse, and when you are talking to your parents and you tell them, and they ask you, why do you want to marry this person? You would say, I feel this is the right person. I feel I connect to them. But really, is it just feelings or is it reality? Feelings. Or even, for example, in school, why do you choose this career? Saying, I feel like I will connect better to this. The problem with this method, what do you think is the problem with this method? Yeah, you don't consider the consequences because it's out of excitement. It's out of feelings. Anything else? Feelings may be wrong. Feelings might be biased. Yes. Feelings could be temporary. Tomorrow, you might feel like, for example, eating also, let's go to a restaurant today. You go sit in the restaurant and you say, I feel tired. I wish we didn't order this food. Rather, we would have stayed at home. Feelings. They change every time. Anything else? Yes, sometimes it's. Can you give me an example? For example, how? Misinterpret. Yes, yes. So probably you are in the moment and you thought this is what you want, but that's not what you wanted. Son, thank you very much. So that's one type of thing. Now we are just mentioning 5, but we would like to see maybe in certain situations we are emotional, in certain we are impulsive. In certain we might be logical, in some we might be passive. Right? Let's go a bit faster. Impulsive is the one, if I want to know if I'm an impulsive decision maker, I make a decision without thinking, without logically thinking. For example, I think the best example here is shopping, isn't it? If you want to shop for something and you are presumably window shopping, then suddenly it becomes real shopping. How do you know if it's not the right thing? Not mature. When you were to tell it to someone else, like I did this, you will say, really? They are surprised. Why did you do like this? It might have been something that you took 30 minutes to decide, but it was still impulsive. They'll say, you took such a decision very quickly. Marriage. I'm going to marry this person. You know them for only 2 weeks. Yeah, I think she's the right person, first of all, feeling. I really feel that I can connect to them. Impulsive. Even though it's 2 weeks, it's still impulsive. Even those who buy stuff when you go to the market, and then you come back and then you say, I bought this, this. Why did you buy this? Surprise. Very interesting. Sometimes we might not realize what we are doing wrong until the other person has to tell us. So impulsive buying, the best way to find out if I'm really impulsive is to ask others, what do you think of my decision? If they think it's harsh and brash, then you tell them, and you realize this is a bit too quick. Third one, I think very possible for, I'll just make a quick mention here. For some people, some of these things might be more, they might be inclining towards one of these 4 or 5 styles. What do I mean? Simply put, from Khalfan, what's his name? Khalfan, the one who gives lectures on psychology and all that. What's his name? First name? Yeah, Shabir Khalfan. He mentioned that there are 4 personalities, and you see in the internet, the very common thing, 4 personalities. The red, green, yellow and blue. The red people are those dominant people, extroverts. They are the ones, if they were to tell you, you might feel a bit, feel a bit bad when they were to tell you, for example, do this. You're saying, why is he talking to me like this? But he's a dominant person, that's how he speaks directly. He doesn't look at your feelings, he looks at the work to be done. Other person is yellow. It doesn't mean it's Chinese. Yellow means he is very influential. Meaning, in a sense, if you were to see him talk big actions, he likes to make jokes. I think you know yourself by this definition. He likes to make jokes, and he is a people person, people pleaser also. Also extrovert. You see he'll talk in all circumstances. He's one of the crowd pleasers in probably a party. The third one and the fourth one comes here. The third one is the blue, which is a person who is very technical. If you were to sit in a class with him and you were to give him a lecture like I'm giving, for 1 hour, point after point, he will write it down. He likes the details. And many a times he's very slow when he's talking, because he goes step by step. He wants to finish the whole thing in detail. The fourth one comes here. There are some people who are green, like myself, passive, whereby if you were to be told something, you will calm down and say, okay. They are peace people, by the way. Green people are those introverts who are peacekeepers, and they like to look at what people say. They are people and peace. So if you were to tell them, for example, do you think you did the right thing? Yeah, I think I did the right thing. But look at this, look at that. You ask him questions, then suddenly he steps back. Now he doesn't want to fight you. Then you say, okay, fine, I did a mistake. Let's just finish the issue over here. He's also a very patient person, because he can fight. You can debate with him and he will be calm. But he's the person who is very much in risk of being a passive person. So if you are a green, you have a higher risk to be following this passive style of decision making. So you have to now move towards the logical side. What is a passive person? Is a person who doesn't rely upon his own opinions or beliefs or expectations. He relies upon the beliefs and expectations of others. Again, marriage example. Do you want to marry this person? I think in the past, Shaykh would know better. And by that, they used to just give, for example, a picture of a girl or a boy. You're going to get married to this person. Do you accept or not? I don't know, maybe everyone in the past was green. Everyone would say, okay, fine. They might do a bit debate, and then they'll decide, okay, fine, whatever you say. And they get married to the person. Whatever they say. What is my friend doing? What career are they choosing? XYZ, okay. So maybe I should go in this line too. What others are doing, I do the same. Why are you marrying this person? My mother said, my father said. It's not your belief and expectation, that's that person's. It's not your decision, it's their decision. And the fourth one, this is also someone who is a green might do this. Avoidance. Why are you not getting married? I can't do it just now. I don't feel like it. But no, you have to get married. We will see when the time comes. What's the best indicator written over there? If you want to know if you are a avoidance kind of guy, you avoid decision making. What's the indicator on the screen? Procrastination, yes. Wasting time. Not today, we'll decide tomorrow. You sleep at night, maybe for those who are married now. You sleep at night, your wife or husband asks you, what should we do tomorrow? What should we cook tomorrow? What should you cook tomorrow? I think the married people are laughing. What should you cook tomorrow? We'll decide in the morning. Avoidance. But if you are a logical person, you would say, okay, A, B, C, you can make a decision in 2 minutes. Proper decision, decided. What are your ingredients? What do you like to cook? Can you cook this? Do you have this? Finish the story, 2 minutes you can decide. But this person, avoidance. Shaykh Shirazi was once mentioning, there were a couple. One of the wife was, from my understanding, a red personality, a dominant person. And the husband was a peacekeeper, the green one. So you have a dominant versus a peacekeeper. The wife is saying, I want this, why are you not listening to me, why are you not giving me attention, what not? The best thing the husband had to do here, because he's a peacekeeper, he can talk nicely, patiently. She will be exploding on him, but he can talk and then resolve the matter. He was going for the avoidance method. Whenever she starts fighting, he keeps quiet and goes into the room. So obviously now you're going to have a long-term problem, because you are not making the right decision over here. The decision was, you sit down, you take it in, expand your chest and accept the errors, and then you resolve the issues. But if you avoid the issues will become greater. And that's the big problem. They expect everything to resolve itself. So we have to decide, are we, and realize, are we one of these four? If we are, we have to shift into the logical side, which is a person who does make decision on emotions, but the positive kind. If you know this person is going to feel bad if I make this decision, this should be part of the decision making process, not avoid it completely. It should be there. If I do this action, I'll be more happier. Yes, it should be part of the process, but it should not be the only reason you make a process. I like this career, why? I really enjoy it. Okay, put it as a plus point that you enjoy the career. Anything else? It should not be avoided, it should be part of the process. Recite the salawat, please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I skip this part, it's more interactive. Although I'm not sure if you want to do it. Let's move ahead. So the book mentions 5 conditions that you need to have and need to observe before making a decision. Number 1, intention. Okay, so before I continue, now here is the part where we'll be looking at the hadith. So I'll be asking you to help me decipher and try to expand on the hadith, because there are so many hadiths in this area. And don't mind the memes that I show you just now. You'll be surprised. Okay. So the first thing is intention. What you want to do. The will. After you make the decision, you make the effort to do it. Number 3 is foresight. Look what's going to happen in the future before making the decision. Don't look at the short-term benefit. Number 4 is counseling. Ask others also. And number 5, at the end of the day, Tawakkul ala Allah. We are going to go through each one of them and look at the hadith in this area. Now the first thing is intention. An-niyyatu asasul amal. That niyyah and intention is the foundation of all actions. If you were to, for example, divide intention and action in computer language, hardware and software, which one would be the software? Intention or action? Intention. Why? It's internal, and action would be the hardware. Yes. So intention is the software. How is it that this body will move to a certain direction? How can I move this body and do what I want it to do with a strong intention? That's why the 6th Imam ﷺ says, مَا ضَعُفَ بَدَنٌ amma qawiyat alayhi niyyah. That the body, ma dawf al-badan, the body and the badan will not become da'if when the intention is strong. I think you might have experienced this. There are times, for example, namaz al-shab. A person wants to wake up for namaz al-shab. My teacher told me, was explaining, that today if I give you a lecture, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I talk about the benefit of namaz al-shab, and then what is the chance that you will wake up for namaz al-shab today? Is it low, medium or high? High. 1 week later, when you forget that, your software has now become outdated. Is the chance of waking up for namaz al-shab low, medium or high now? It becomes a bit lower. It's because the intention is lower, the understanding and the knowledge is lower, that's why the action cannot follow. If I want to do something and I want to make my body follow me, I have to make the strong intention. And the best way to make the intention stronger is by knowledge on why you are doing what you are doing. Why should I get married just now? Because everybody is getting married and you won't really be making much effort. Your intention won't be strong because you don't know why you're doing it. Once you know it, then your intention will be strong, your action will follow. There is a verse in the Quran about something called Shakila. In Surah number 17, verse number 84. Surah number 17 is Surah Bani Israel, yes. This terminology, as you see, I don't know if you can see it, it's called Shakila. Kullun ya'amalu ala shakilatihi. Everyone acts based on their shakila. Now what is shakila? Shikl. Is it something external, internal? So the Imam alayhi salam was asked about this. What is the meaning of shakila? That everybody, if I'm going to be making a decision and doing something, then it should be based on my shakila. So Imam asked, what is this shakila? So Imam is saying, an-niyyatu afdalu min al-amal. The niyyah is more meritorious, better than the amal. How is it possible? A niyyah is better than the amal. Meaning if I just make a niyyah, then that's enough. The Imam continues, Ala wa inna niyyata hiya al-amal. Your niyyah is your amal. Basically, if your niyyah is this level, your amal will follow. ثم تلا قوله تعالى. Then he recited this verse. قل كل يعمل على شاكلتي. Everyone acts based on their shakila. Meaning, Imam when he says, okay, what do you think? Why did Imam first say your niyyah is better than your amal? And then he says, no, your niyyah is your amal. Why did he mention two different things? What do you think is the reason? So do some hadith analysis here. Why do you think Imam first said your niyyah is better than your amal? Then he said, no, niyyah is the amal. Yes, yes, that's the first part. That's why your niyyah is better than the amal. It's the niyyah that drives the amal. Wonderful. Then why do you say it's equal? Second part. Why did you say niyyah is the amal? Yes. Ahsan. So basically the Imam, from what I'm hearing, Imam was looking at the same issue from two angles. In philosophy, let me try to give you an example. This is a pointer which I didn't have to use, fortunately or unfortunately. If I'm holding this pointer and I'm moving it forward, what's moving first, the hand or the pointer? The hand is moving forward. How can you say hand? So basically the hand reaches first before the pointer. What is moving forward? It's together. Yes. So there are two aspects. The hand is the cause of the pointer to move forward. Therefore the hand is greater than the pen. But at the same time, If the hand is moving, the pointer is moving. These are two aspects. The hand and the pen move together, and the hand is the reason for the pen to move forward. That's why probably Imam is saying Niyyah is greater probably than the action, because it is the one that initiates the action. But at the same time, whatever Niyyah you make will be the action itself. That was about Niyyah. Yes.
Two comments. One is that intention is brought upon. One factor could be is that intention is based on awareness.
Yes.
That's the factor that creates the action.
Yes.
So you need to be aware so you understand the consequences.
Yes.
There's one factor. Another example that I like to use is that in law, you cannot be arrested until you know the motive.
Yes.
So you could have killed someone, but you will not be arrested till I know the motive.
Yes.
That's the intention.
Uh-huh.
That's what I to drive that point.
Yes, yes.
That one person by law cannot be arrested
Wonderful.
unless they know his motive.
That's
If
right.
somebody steals, we have to understand the punishment of the rules. Could be that he faces no punishment because he was starving.
Yes.
But so we have to go. That's what drives.
Yes.
I just wanted to.
That's not. Do you know in Islam we have such a thing? If a person is caught stealing, what's the punishment for the person? Because person, you cut the hand, right? Well, as you mentioned, law. What if that person is poor?
That's what I meant.
Exactly. Yes. If the
He was starving.
exactly, Asan.
This stage is based on his intention.
Exactly, Asan. So this is a very nice example. Your intention will make the action actualize. Asan, thank you very much. Any other question? Any other comment? I usually prefer 20-80% class, whereby I'm not the 80%, I'm the 20%. But I guess we have the second part now, the effort, the willpower. Now it's a bit of a overlap between intention and, so the Arabic word for intention is Niyyah. The Arabic word for will, what do you think is the Arabic word for will or effort? Iradah. Asan, thank you very much. Iradah. So if I were to ask you what's the difference between intention and will, because we said this is now the second condition. What do you think is the difference between an intention and the will to do it?
Even compared to motivation versus discipline.
Okay, how so?
So the intention,
You made it a bit harder for me. Explain this.
the intention is the motivation part, what initially pushes you towards that thing. And
Uh-huh.
discipline is the thing, so the will is the ability to keep on that thing for us like a longer period of time.
Hassan, yes, yes, very good, yes. I accept that explanation. Anything else? Probably. So if you were to give me an example, you want to recite 100 rakat namaz, right? Tonight, inshallah, we'll ask pray for you. 100 rakat namaz. What's the difference between the intention and the iradah in this case of salat? 100 rakat namaz you want to recite tonight, which you will, inshallah.
The starting point of me starting the prayer versus when I'm the 20th rakat and I have to finish the other 8.
Ahsan, yes, that probably would be a very clear example. So that intention that I want to pray, as you mentioned, the knowledge and the motivation, awareness that I need to do this, that's the intention. That's the first step. That's coming out of the avoidance style, that you need to actually act. That's number one. But how do you keep on motivating yourself, how do you keep on acting is where the iradah comes in. And that is where you need reminders. Remind yourself what is the purpose of what you are doing. And hadith is also very interesting. So even if you make an intention, if you don't put the effort in, it doesn't make sense. Imam alayhi salam says, Qadru rajuli ala qadri himmatihi. The value of a person, of a man, is on the basis of his effort. You know, there are two ways you can look at this. I think Agamini, my teacher, looked at it in two ways. What do you think? Number one, let's see what you understand from this hadith before I mention my opinion. What do you think is the meaning that the Imam is trying to say? The value of a person is based on his effort. It's a bit cryptic in a way. What's the Imam trying to point towards? The quality, the quality of a person. So one is quality. Value of a person, number one. In Jannah, Mullah Sadra, I would say probably the greatest philosopher, if not the second best, next to Allama Tawatabai, Rahmatullahi. Mullah Sadra, that you can say a teacher and the inspiration of Allama Tawatabai, he mentioned something very interesting in his tafsir about Jannah in Surah Yasin. Hum wa azwajuhum fi dhilalin ala al-araiki lahum fiha fakiyatun wa lahum ma yaddaun. Those people in Jannah will be sitting in couches, them and their wives and their spouses. وَلَهُمْ مَا يَدَّعُونَ. They will get whatever they ask for. قَدْرُ الرَّجُلِ عَلَى قَدْرِ هِمَّتِ. I ask for example, in Jannah, for fruits. You get your fruits. You get whatever you want. I ask in Jannah for a big house. You get your house. I want the house full of rubies, made of rubies. You get it. Okay? Anything else? No, that's enough for me. That means now your level is this much. You are at the level of fruits, castle, ruby castle. That's all. What about something beyond? In Jannah, if you had the potential to become higher and you actually worked for it here, you will ask for it there. That's why wala umma yaddaun, you will get whatever you ask for. If a person in here is working more towards getting worldly things, money, position, power, halal. In Jannah, he will ask for the same, worldly, position, power, and Allah will give him the positive kind of possession and power, money. You want popularity, you will be there. But what more than this? There's a verse in the Quran that says when people are told about Allah, again Agamini mentioned it, إِثَّقَلْتُمْ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ. You attach yourself to the earth. It's because your himma and your effort is not towards those high level things. My effort is more towards the worldly pleasures. Halal worldly pleasures, but pleasure itself. So in Jannah also I'll be after the pleasures. So a person's value is based on what he is asking for. If my career is based on money, I want money, then that is your level. Some people's career is based on I want to grow. That's your level. That you are a person who aims for growth, not money. Money is beneath you. A person is based on his effort and what he intends to do. That's number one. Why? How can my will break? I made the intention, I'm moving forward. One is, as mentioned, my awareness, and I become a bit ghafil, a bit unaware of why I'm doing what I'm doing. The other thing is ease. So we have a hadith over here. La tajtami'u azimatun wa walima. Azima and walima don't go together. What is walima? The one that we had yesterday? No, it was not a walima. That's a niyyah, isn't it? Walima means in this case celebration. You want to put in the effort, but at the same time you want to enjoy also. They don't go together. The Imam is saying, first Imam alayhi salam. So what? Ma anqadha an-nawm li azaim al-yawm. When a person is sleeping in the daytime, many of the things that he wanted to do in the day, the azm that he had, how many asleep have destroyed the determinations of the day? You wanted to do something and you woke up late. Your intention went away because of the sleep. وَأَمْحَ الظُّلَمْ لِتَذَاكِيرِ الْهِمَمْ. Your night time has come, the night has come, and now you say, what if I would have done this thing today? So Imam is trying to say over here that don't be relaxed and want to do things. Those who are the most popular people, the YouTubers, Elon Musk, whoever you want to say, popular people, not maybe the best people, but the popular people, they usually sleep less because you can't enjoy life and also gain the best. You can't do that. You need to sacrifice. Gigi.
Say that will is, in essence, a preparation for the action.
Preparation, in a sense, the effort you put also. Also, preparation comes a bit later. It's another thing. It's the,
Like you say, you sleep early.
yes,
You have planning and all of that. So I plan my day
yes,
the night before and prepare myself to sleep early.
yes.
That kind of thing. Good.
So there is one thing where you plan that I want to sleep early, 10 o'clock. You do sleep, but in the morning, difficult for you to wake up. If you really had put in the Iradah, you had a strong intention, then you would have woken up. That's the thing. Another hadith we have. Again, this is very similar to the one that you mentioned. I just mentioned the hadith. فَتَدَاوَى مِنَ الدَّاءِ الْفَطْرَةِ فِي قَلْبِكَ بِعَزِيمًا. Strong determinations makes the weak heart stronger. Third thing, so we said intention, you have the will. Now you want to do something, but what are you going to do? You need to make sure what you are looking at, you're looking ahead. If it's going to rain, have an umbrella. If there is going to be Al-Shabaab coming, then have a gun. And if you run out of bullets, have a knife. You should be prepared for everything. There are many things over here. I'll just shorten it because I don't want to take too much time in this. I'll mention the hadith. And this is something that I believe the Maraji, especially Ayatollah Khamenei, was very popular in and known for forecasting. He can tell you with the first concept, as we mentioned, hazm, firmness, what is going to happen in the future. Shaykh Qasim Soleimani, in one of the speeches, in one of the audios I heard in Iran only, I don't know, it was not translated and moved around in the English world. He says that once, I believe it was the Lebanon-Israel war, I don't know, 33 days was it? Right? Yeah, in that war, when he was told, Shaykh Qasim, Rahmatullahi alayhi, when he told Ayatollah Khamenei that the Israelis have attacked us, now we are in trouble and whatnot. So Ayatollah Khamenei replies, oh, so this is going to be like the battle of Dawood and Jalut, Goliath and, what was it? David and Goliath. So Ayatollah, Shaykh Qasim is saying, I wish he hadn't said it. It means basically saying we are going to win the war, Lebanon and Israel. And that's exactly what happened. Lebanon went through. He said, from that day I realized that I need to trust this person more. He's not a normal person. He can see ahead what's going to happen. He knows everything that's going to happen in the middle. Very powerful person. And of course, Iman was there. But the hadith is saying, اتقي أواقب عالما بأن للأعمال جزاء وأجرا. Make sure you look at the future, because these are of course reminders that everything has an end result as a consequence. واحذر تبعات الأمور بتقديم الحزم فيها. Yes, I have not put it in the main because a lot of information. Imam alayhi salam, if you remember, there is a hadith about hammam, not hammam meaning bathroom. Hammam, there is a scholar, there is a companion of the Imam who wanted to know the characteristics of the muttaqin. One of the characteristics mentioned was hazman fi lin. Hazm, whatever you are doing, make a firm resolve that you want to do it. You can only make a firm resolve if you know what's going to be the end result. I want to do this at the end. So a person comes to me in the mosque, a boy in the morning, subuh namaz, first of all you are very sleepy, and he asks you a very difficult counseling question. He asked me, I did this course for 1.5 years, and I want to change it. Can I change it? So whatever came to my mind, I told him, especially in the morning, nothing usually comes to the mind. I told him, okay, just now you have changed it to this course. Then you will change to that course. What is your plan? What do you want to do? Basically, he was experimenting here and there. He was no hazm, no firmness in what he wants to do in the future. And that's why he was changing his decision. And I told him, what if just now you do this and then you change your decision in the future? Then what will you do? And he thought, yes, it's possible. I told him, do this. You continue your course just now. And if you can just try to find out, first of all, maybe if you can experiment, maybe look for some demo classes, what is the other, what do you call, counseling career about, and then maybe you can incorporate it, or then you can shift. But just now stick to what you are doing. Don't keep on changing your decision. Have firmness in what you have chosen to become. And if you are to ask the counselors nowadays, career counselors, especially in school, what I ask, it would seem that nowadays you can't say I studied X and my career will be X. It's not possible. You study X, in the future you might go to XYZ as your career. I know somebody who studied, he wanted to go for IT. He went into minerals and geography, and then he became an accountant, and now he's a teacher. I don't know. So careers change, and in fact that's the growth. It's no more about money, it's about growth. You learn different things. And I'm not talking about myself, by the way. The second thing is also, I'm just trying to summarize because there's a lot of information here. La aqla kat tadbir, that there is no intellect like tadbir. Rawi qabla al-amal tanju min al-zalal. Let me just put all the hadiths here so you can have a look while I'm reciting the narrations. There's this very interesting hadith. Let's look over it. Prophet is asked for advice. The Prophet says, okay, fine. If you want my advice, the sixth Imam is narrating this. If you want my advice, will you listen to what I say? He said, yes. Will you listen to what I say? Yes. Will you listen to what I say? He said, yes. Okay. فَإِنِّي إِذًا أُوصِيكَ. So now I'm advising you because you have confirmed that you're going to listen to what I say. إِذَا أَنْتَ هَمَمْتَ بِأَمْرٍ. When you make a decision to do something, فَتَدَبَّرْ عَاقِبَةً. Don't be impulsive. Look at the end result, what is going to happen. فَإِنْ يَكُ رُشْدًا فَامْضِهِ. When you know it's good, then don't start doubting yourself. Make sure you do it. وَإِنْ يَكُ غَيًّا فَانْتَهِ عَنْهُ. If it is a bit deviated, it's not good, then leave it. Many of our decisions sometimes, which I mentioned here, we forget our Islamic values. So for example, I want to earn money, but how much? I want to shift my country to another country to study in a particular course. Will your Islamic values be surviving? If yes, then go there. If not, then maybe Sayyid Sistani, Hafidullah, says it might be even haram for you to go there. And that is why many of the people, when they make a decision, or for example they get married, in the future they say, why did I marry this person? Maybe it was a case of wrong decision making. It was impulsive, it was emotional, infatuation for example, or listening to the parents what they said. Therefore, if you look foresight what is there, and you talk and you think logically, maybe you can make the right decision, and then you won't be depressed. If anything goes wrong, you will not be blamed. You know that I made the right decision, I did all the steps that were required. Number 4, which is very important, and that is counseling. By counseling, I don't mean to go sit with the counselor. This is a bit more broader. In Surah Al Imran, verse number 159, it says, فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ. Because, I think Shaykh mentioned this in his speech also, because of the rahmah from Allah, you are lenient to them. وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَضًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَانْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. If you are harsh, then people have run away from you. Now this is the interesting part, which is connected to ours. Therefore Allah tells him, فَعْفُ عَنْهُمْ. Those who are around you, forgive them for whatever wrong they've done to you. Meaning now, don't look at them as your enemy, they are your friend. Forgive them. وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ. Now go one step ahead. Don't only forgive them, ask forgiveness for them. Now you are closer to them. You want them to succeed. And in fact, thirdly, you want their trust also. You now are telling them, I trust you. How? وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ. Also take counsel. I mean, this person was your enemy today. You forgave him. You asked forgiveness from him. Now you are even asking advice from him. So anyone you know, you want to make a connection with, mushawara and counseling is one of the ways to show that you are now one unit. But the last thing, فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. But if you have made the decision, then you do tawakkul at the end, after you made the decision. Therefore Imam Ali alayhi salam said, شَاوِرْ قَبْلَ أَن تَعْزِمَ وَفَكِّرْ قَبْلَ أَن تُقْدِمْ. Take counsel before you make a decision. Many times, why? What is the reason? Let me go a bit faster. Why do you think we should make a... And by the way, the Imam is telling us that, in fact, don't even think مُشَاوِرَةُ ذَوِي الرَّأِي وَاتِّبَاعُهُمْ. Our Prophet was asked about this. لا يستغني العاقل عن المشاورة. That any person, any aqlman, any intellectual person will never be free from mushawara, from counsel. Why? So what's the reason? Why should I listen to someone else's opinion? Simply put, it's because now you are making his experience and your experience one. That's why a good counselor is a listener, because you want to be on the same page, same wavelength, let's say. When you have the same information, now he might have more experience, he had seen the future, so he can give you that advice. Avoidance person would say, nah, I don't need to meet a counselor, I'm a bit shy. Then you are going to be stuck in your own mind and your own decision and your own thoughts and your own knowledge. It's not going to help you. In fact, in the future, if you were to take counsel and something good happened, Imam Qadim alayhi salam saying, "Man istashara lam ya'adam inda sawabi madiha." When you do the right decision, you will be praised and the counselor will be praised. What if the counselor gave me bad advice? Wa inda al-khata'i adira. Or if you do a mistake and the counselor gave you a wrong advice, no one can come and blame you. You will not regret also, because you took the right advice from the person. So counseling is a win-win. You take the advice, if you win, you win. If you lose, you still win, because you did the right thing, you will not regret. And in fact, one of the secrets in mushawara, it would seem, is as if Allah is the one who has all the knowledge. He knows what's the right decision for you. But He doesn't want you to make the decision yourself. He doesn't want you to open the Quran, do istikhara. He doesn't want you to do that. He wants you to go for counseling. He will give the information to the counselor that you will receive. And let's say in the future you say, you see, I took the advice of the counselor and my career, my life is spoiled. No, maybe that is especially what you needed to do. For example, just a quick story before I end here. We have around how many minutes? 9-10 minutes. Okay. One of the scholars in Iran, in Qom, is a madrasa, Hausa, by the name Madrasa Amirul Mu'mineen. The head of that madrasa is Sayyid, I forgot his name. He had a lot of students, ladies, he used to teach ladies. And one of the things that it is mentioned about him is that he is a doctorate, by the way, in whatever course he has taken. Before, he wanted to take a certain path, so he did the exam, master's, doctorate exam. He wants to go there, and for some reason, even after studying, he failed the exam. Now he might say, now my career is lost. Why did Allah make me fail? I tried my best. So he shifted his course to something else. When he shifted his course, he went into akhlaqiyat. He went into teaching Ayatollah Mutahhari's, Rahmatullah's books. And that is what he says was his success. So Allah wanted him to fail, that he changes his path. And he is now the dean and the headmaster of Madrasa Amir al-Mu'mineen. You can go meet him when you go, inshallah, to Qom after the victory, of course. I don't know if you get a flight just now. You might change a path, but because you took the right decisions to reach there, then whatever happens is not your fault. Imam Hussein alayhi salam went to Karbala, even though he was killed, but that was the right decision. So don't look at the result. Look at the path that you have taken to reach there. Maybe Allah wanted you to do this, though apparently you might not like it. And finally, reliance. Reliance on who? Reliance on who? Allah, yes. Reliance on Allah. فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ, same words. فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. You do whatever you want to do. At the end of the day, Allah is the one who is making things happen. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُتَوَكِّلِينَ. Allah loves those who do tawakkul. Allah does not love the ones, Allah in this verse, does not say, Allah loves the one who do the most research. No. Allah loves the one who do the most counseling. No. Allah loves that you do what the Imams have told you to do, what the Quran has told you to do, and then you leave it upon Him because you took the right steps. Then you leave it upon Allah what He tells you. If you have heard of the famous narration, Iqil wa tawakkal. A person comes to the Prophet and tells him, I have my camel, should I, or a horse, or whatever mount it was. I have a camel, should I tie it and go to the mosque, whatever? Or should I let it open and rely upon Allah? The Prophet says, "Iqil wa tawakkal." Tie, then rely. Tie the camel and then rely on Allah. Don't just rely without any purpose. Iqilha wa tawakkal. Why? Because whatever we do, how much ever research we do, whatever person we ask, we will never be able to get the full picture. Technical point, although now is a tiring time. Tawakkul is two types. One tawakkul is the one you apparently see over here. For example, you made all your decision, you got your knowledge, counseling, and then you say, "Oh Allah, now I've done the decision, now I leave it upon you. Do your best, leave the rest to God. I did everything. Now Allah, you take the path forward." That's one form of tawakkul. The other form of tawakkul is, like Shaykh Moledina's example here, a person comes to the Holy Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, recited salat, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And he's threatening the Prophet with a sword. "You are alone here, Prophet." He's a kafir. "You are alone here. Who will save you now?" Sword in his hand. And the Prophet Tawakkul says, "Allah will save me." And that person drops the sword and the Prophet picks up the sword. So the Prophet asks him, paraphrasing, "What are you going to do?" He's saying, "I believe in your mercy, so I don't think you will hurt me." The Prophet says, "Yes." And he gives him back the sword and the person becomes a Muslim. The point that Shaykh Moledina mentions here is, fine, okay, let's say this person has a sword in his hand. Who gives him the strength to hold this sword in the hand? Well, obviously now Allah has given him strength, but who keeps that continuous power flowing in the hand for him to hold the sword? He has a sword. If he's going to hit you with the sword, who gives the sword the ability to cut skin? Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he was sacrificing his son, one of the hadiths tell us, he took the knife, one of the hadiths, he starts cutting Nabi Ismail alayhi salam. It's not cutting. It's sharp knife. He sharpened it. Cutting doesn't cut. He threw the knife away. It went into a stone and broke the stone into two. The same knife. Who gives the knife the ability to cut with permission? Fire burns. But when Ibrahim alayhi salam goes in the fire, it doesn't burn. Who gives fire the ability to burn and burn other things? That is another form of tawakkul. Something happens only because Allah allows it to happen. It's not only natural phenomena, it's godly phenomena. It's just, this is a sunnah that fire should burn. And when Allah wills it, the fire will not burn. That is tawakkul. I think I will end over here. So, 5 things. Make an intention with the knowledge and awareness that you have. Make the effort. Number 3 was? Number 3 was? Foresight. Yeah, look what is the outcome of the action. Predict the outcome of the action. Number 4, counseling. And look at what other people say about it. Share their knowledge. And finally, everything is not in your hand. Rely upon Allah. Shall we pray to Allah to get the tawfiq to make the right decisions and be of those who are able to make and follow all these practices. They're difficult. They might look apparently easy, but for someone to do all this, it takes a bit of tawfiq from Allah.